Hello and welcome everyone to today's online class. Today's presentation is titled Training Programs to Advance Your Staff's AI and Tech Skills, and today's speaker is Kristen Kotz. Kristen is an artificial intelligence consultant. CPSM is an experienced marketer with over 23 years of expertise in AEC and leading expert for AI in the built environment. She advises organizations on how to integrate AI into their operations and provides customized structures, policies, procedures, and training to drive growth, efficiency, and productivity. Kristen is a sought-after speaker and thought leader in the field of AI for the built environment, committed to advancing the use of AI in our industry. If you have questions for Kristen, please submit them via the chat feature. Type your questions in the chat box and submit your questions to the panelists. Kristen will address your questions throughout today's program. Now, please help me our first speaker. Kristen, please begin.
Hello, everybody. So, as I was telling Andrew before, I'm so happy to be here, first of all. Second of all, I cannot see you. So, it is hard to present to yourself, but I'm going to do my best. And again, he mentioned put your questions in the chat, not the Q&A box, but the chat box. That's the one that I have open. But we're going to see how far we get in an hour. So, of course, it's not working. So, let's do that. All right. We're going to start just with the past. And I put the parentheses around ish because it's kind of like the current past. I can't see your faces, but anybody recognize this? This is from the 1980s. This is a movie called War Games. I highly suggest y'all go watch it. That is Matthew Broderick. He was a computer hacker and broke into the US defense, and the AI was called Joshua. And you can see that Joshua went from chess and poker, super easy kind of, lightweight games, to straight out global thermonuclear war. This is my first foray into AI when I was in my teens, and the computer was like, "Shall I play a game?" But again, AI right away in my teens was like used for absolute global destruction, but still a really great movie. What are we talking about right now? We are talking about AI, which stands for artificial intelligence. And right now, it's going to be also called narrow AI or generative AI. Bill Gates in March of 2023, I can't believe that has been 2 years ago, wrote a really great article that defined AI right now as a computer model that has been created to solve a very particular problem or provide a service or a task. And so when ChatGPT was launched, the name chat is because it did text to text very well. So one thing really, really well. I define it, and we've highlighted it here, as any computer program, etc., technology that helps humans, us, to automate or augment tasks so that you and I can get to the more important stuff. However you want to define that stuff, the people, the idea, the causes that you care about. I believe in our industry, we are going to reclaim our time so that we can actually spend it with people. And that will be our coworkers, that will be our team members, and that will be our clients, of course. It has far exceeded just solving a particular program or task at the time. Right now, it currently excels. It can generate text, image, video, voice cloning, chatbots, and code, and it can read code, text, images, and videos. I'll give you a demonstration of that in a second. This is how it works, okay? There are 4 steps. It is very, very complex, but it is not complicated. You have to give it instructions. You have to give it direction. You have to tell it what to do. That is usually called a prompt. Then it is going to look at what you've asked it to do and go to a knowledge base in order to collect information, collect the data to give you what you asked it. Then it is going to look at your prompt and look at the knowledge base based on how it was trained to do so by a computer programmer. And then it's going to give you an answer. It's going to optimize the result, optimize the output. And if you see this process, the things in yellow, that's what GPT stands for, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So it is just telling you what the process is in ChatGPT. It's chat. It was what was text to text, and this is how it worked. So this is a really important slide. I hope y'all refer back to it. I'm going to talk about it in the presentation, but this is how it works. Give it instructions. It's going to go look for information. It was trained to do so. Then it's going to give you an answer. So why now? A couple of things. Remember, we're in the past-ish section. A couple of things have happened in the past 10 or so years. First, we have better coding. And by that, I mean we just have smarter people. We have they're building smarter software. And I've recently added AI because you know that AI is now providing code to generate AI. So AI can actually be better at coding than humans can. Computer power. We are now in the quantum era, right? And a digital, that's the hardware part. I usually hold up my phone at this time, but like just massive. Our hardware can compute these I'm losing my words. It's able to handle this kind of per millisecond computing. And the digital data boom, right? So it's just that's the knowledge base part. So the first thing I just want to talk about is the quantum computing. I put it up here. This is Sycamore. This is Google's quantum computer. I find it to be really pretty. But in 2019, this computer completed a task in 200 seconds that would have taken the current state-of-the-art computer, supercomputer in 2019, 10,000 years to finish. Okay, so that was 2019. In July of no, 2 years ago, this is 2 years ago, July of 2023, Sycamore performed a calculation in seconds that it would have taken the world's current fastest supercomputer in 2023, 47 years, though things are just getting exponentially faster. This just means speed. I like to have this on the screen and I like to read it so that I make sure I do not get it wrong. So this is about the digital data boom, the amount of information. You know that your devices are taking information and data from you willingly or unwillingly. We are also, as humans, creating information and giving it out to the world willingly, maybe sometimes unwillingly. So we're generating content and data that is needed for these large language models, also called LLMs, to have in their knowledge base. So if you see a little box on the left-hand side, Eric Schmidt is a previous CEO at Google, and he has said that from the very beginning of time to the year 2003, humans, we created something called 5 exabytes of information. And let me tell you, that's a lot of information. It's massive. So from 0 to 2003, 5 exabytes of information. We created that same amount of information in only 2 days in 2013. And that was 12 years ago, right? So then I figured, what are we doing right now? If that was 12 years ago, 5 exabytes in 2 days in 2013, we are now creating 328 exabytes of data per day now. And it's been somewhat discussed that actually we're running out of data to train our latest AI models, but that's neither here nor there. That's for a different discussion over cocktails. But huge amounts of data go into these knowledge bases. I'm going to go back to this because what does all this mean? What is quantum computing? What is better algorithms, better coding? What is the bigger knowledge base? What does that all mean for us? And it's speed. This is a image from Time publication, and it only goes to 2022, but you can see kind of around 2015, which is when OpenAI was created, and that's the company that created ChatGPT, that AI is outperforming humans already at handwriting recognition, language, common sense, grade school math, reading comprehension, image recognition, things like that. So they're already beating us on these types of human skills. So just speed. Speed is what's happening at the moment. This is Moore's Law, where technology usually in our past has doubled every 18 to 24 months. So power computation is doubled every 18 to 24 months, and it has this nice, easy, grade going up. And you can see other stuff. AI has been around since the 1950s. Alan Turing created the Turing test, which is if humans think that they're even talking to a robot. That was in 1950. Artificial intelligence, that term was coined in 1955. And again, OpenAI was founded in 2015. And you can see on the right-hand side where AI surpassed the brain power of a mouse in 2015. When OpenAI was created, you can put your tinfoil hats on. It was rumored to have surpassed the brain power of a single human in 2023. That was 2 years ago, and predicted to surpass the brain power of all humans combined by 2045. We think that is probably going to be much faster. So again, Moore's Law, old technology has doubled every 18 to 24 months. But right now, this is NVIDIA. They are a trillion-dollar company. They started out in gaming, so they were building the hardware and the software. They've completely pivoted to AI, and they're breaking their own speed records 3 times every 6 months. So again, we were going from doubling every 18 to 24 months or doubling every 2 years to now tripling every 6 months. This is the capacity of what we're dealing with. So what is AGI? AGI is artificial general intelligence. It's also called strong AI. And you can see I've highlighted here that it is when AI, remember AI defined before, helps us humans to augment or automate tasks for us so we can get back to the more important stuff. AGI is AI that can match human cognitive skills, right? It looks like reason. It can look like strategy. It can solve puzzles. It represents knowledge that we don't have. It can communicate in natural language and integrate these skills to complete a task. So in that same article, Bill Gates said that AGI would never be possible. The current founders of all the big AI companies say that it has like a 25% chance. Elon Musk says it will be here in 4 years. And while some people say like never, and some people like it's imminent, everybody is talking about it. Some tools out there look like AGI. I mean, if it looks like magic, it feels like magic. We call it AI. So it looks like AGI. But the truth is actually baby AGI is happening right now. And those are agents and operators. And what that really looks like is, remember the process I showed you. You have to give it the instructions. What AGI looks like is you give it one instruction and it will run through to a natural conclusion or a solution or an output. And instead of you having to completely give it new prompts and direction along the process, it's going to give it itself its own instructions. That's what baby AGI looks like. And then, of course, I would be completely remiss if I didn't mention ASI, which is artificial superintelligence. This is the AI that surpasses human intelligence in all aspects. It looks like it has sentient awareness. It looks like it has consciousness. It can learn and plan and do things on its own, completely autonomous, making its own judgments under uncertainty. Looks like it has common sense. And these are all of my favorite movies, of course. So if it's like what we see in movies, what it looks like when the robots or the computer programs have these kind of capabilities. So again, all my favorite movies. AGI, again, artificial general intelligence and baby AGI, people are talking about it. It's being explored and it's definitely expected. But no one right now thinks that ASI is anywhere near the table. That might be changing while I'm giving this presentation, but it is truly theoretical right now. So if you have fears about AI, just take a deep breath and a step back. Like we're not there yet, but we really have some amazing things that look like magic. So November 30th, we're still in the passage section. November 30th of 2022 started this. This is when ChatGPT was launched onto the world and given to us mere mortals, and not August 29th, 1997. And I won't waste my time, but I'll tell you that that is when Skynet became self-aware in the movie Terminator. So just a little joke there. But November 30th is what started this whole thing, ChatGPT. And I wish I could see you because this is where I start to ask who has even touched ChatGPT. And if you have, and you've played around with it, do you have the paid version? And if you have the paid version, have you already created your own AI assistant or GPT within that? So the Pew Research Foundation a couple of weeks ago came out with a report that said um, only 18% of Americans, and I'm assuming above high school age and babies, but only 18% of Americans have even opened ChatGPT. And if you have even opened it, they consider you an AI innovator. It's very hard for me to understand, but kudos to us. If you've opened it and or if you're sitting out there and you think you're behind and you've opened ChatGPT, you're not behind. You are in the 18% of Americans who have actually played around or just touched and opened that website. So feel pretty good about yourself. This is what my OpenAI ChatGPT looks like. I have the paid version, the $20 a month. It is called ChatGPT Plus. This may or may not look like your version because I actually have a Chrome extension that runs on mine, so I can give you this example. The Chrome extension is called AIPRM for ChatGPT, and you can see that even if you didn't know how to prompt ChatGPT, and the prompt box is at the bottom there with the little, it's the gray box and it has the paper clip. But even if you didn't know how to prompt ChatGPT, there are Chrome extensions and trainings out there that can give you some easy buttons. So here it is. If I didn't know what I wanted to do, I could click on a fully SEO optimized article and it would help me walk through that, or a human-like rewriter, or a Midjourney prompt. Midjourney is a text to image creator. So easy buttons. This is what it looks like. So right now it's multimodal, and that means it can actually see, it can hear, and it can talk. This is on the right-hand side is what it looks like when I pull it up on my phone. I think you can hear the sound on this, hopefully. Oh, maybe I took the sound off of this because I'm going to talk over it. Okay, so I open it up on my mobile application and I'm taking a picture of a bike and I'm like, please help me lower my bike seat here. And because it can see the image, it's going to say, absolutely, here are the 4 steps you need to lower your bike seat. And the first step is to locate a quick release lever or a bolt. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. So we take a picture, we circle it on our phone, we upload that picture back into ChatGPT, and I was like, is this the lever? Again, because ChatGPT can see the image, it says, no, that's not a lever, that's actually a bolt. And in order to lower your bike seat with a bolt, you're going to need an Allen wrench. So then we upload our bike manual and we upload a picture of our toolkit and we say, this is our manual and here's my toolkit. Do I have what I need in order to lower this bolt or work on this bolt to lower my bike seat? And if there were music, there'd be a huge crescendo here, but it says, yes, you have the right tool. And oh, by the way, it's in the left section of your toolbox. There's a set labeled DeWalt, and then it's telling me how to find it. So when I show this to people, their mind explodes. And what I want to tell you is this feature has been available on ChatGPT Plus for over a year and a half now. It can read images, it can see videos. And if I were doing a live demonstration today, I would show you how it can actually see me and talk to me in real life. And if I turned it around, it could see the screen I was working on. And it can also screen share and give me insights and ideas about what I'm looking at on a website. So these features are unbelievable. If you are playing around with ChatGPT and you have the free version and you're like, why should I pay for the $20 version? Every reason why you should. It's almost criminal that it's only $20. This is the stuff that you get. Again, it's multimodal. You can see and it can see and it can hear. You can screen share again. So you can turn on screen sharing and it can give you, again, ideas and insights to what you're looking at on a website. It has memory. Some people find memory a little creepy because it's going to start to learn things about you. I find it incredibly helpful. It knows a lot about me. It knows a lot about my audience. It knows a lot about what I do for a living. And so when I start to talk to ChatGPT, I usually start with knowing what you know about me, help me do this thing. You can create your own AI assistants, and I'll get to that in a second. Canvas is basically like Microsoft Word within the platform. You can edit documents now within the ChatGPT platform. Tasks mean you can send it out to go do things and come back. You can schedule it to go do things for you. For example, I research AI all the time. I do it myself, but I have told it to go find the top 10 AI news articles in the past 24 hours and deliver those to me. Not only deliver them to me, summarize them for me, and write a LinkedIn post for me. And it gives that to me every day at 8 a.m. Projects is a way to organize things. So now you have file folders and structures within the ChatGPT platform so you can keep things organized. About 2 weeks ago, it updated its image generator. So usually, previously, you would ask it for words in an image or infographics and would give you all this gobbledygook. It's now really good with words. And then, of course, if you ever do research about anything, it has a deep search feature. This is Sora. It is ChatGPT's or OpenAI's text to video generator. If you have ChatGPT Plus, you automatically have a subscription membership to Sora. So I'm just going to play this.
In a place beyond imagination, where the horizon kisses the heavens,
I'm going to cut it short just for brevity. You'll get the whole presentation and all the slides and all the videos live linked. But that was text to video. You can see why Hollywood is a little upset about it because it's really, really good. The sound in that video was actually created by another AI company called 11 Labs. They are the premier text to sound creator. You can clone your voice as well. But Sora, again, text to video, but it also has text to image as well. So these are a couple of the images you can create. But again, you get this for free with your ChatGPT Plus subscription. So kind of an all-in-one everything. Oh, these are more videos. Okay, so AI is not only though ChatGPT. I mean, again, I was putting millions of them, but now there's just an infinite number of AI companies, apps, extensions, programs, platforms, integrations, automations. And if you want to play around with one place that has a lot of the large language models all on one platform, this is called almirena.ai. It has about 150 large language models. And I have my background in marketing, and I kind of like the gamification of this. You can see down at the bottom that you can put in a text-to-text prompt, so it's going to generate your answer. It's not going to tell you what models it's using, and you get to pick which answer you actually like better. And then it is going to tell you, it's going to amalgamate that into a leaderboard. And so that leaderboard, it will tell you which model you chose. And these are the current models that people seem to like. So Gemini, which is Google, is right at the top. ChatGPT 4.0, the latest, is also right there. Grok is up there. Again, ChatGPT and Gemini. DeepSeek is on there. I don't recommend DeepSeek. That's a whole nother discussion. But you can play around again on this site with 150, and maybe they've got more of them now, large language models. And so again, it's not just ChatGPT. That's the great introduction. The paid version can handle a lot of use cases for people, but there are just gajillions amount of tools out there at the moment. Okay, if you doom scroll on social media, I highly recommend you don't do that anymore, and spend a little bit of time on labs.google. They give you a place where you can test out a lot of their experimentation for free. And it's got this really easy interface, and it's just fun and educational. So both of those things. And this is just a little video. I think it's a screen capture of me moving through. So there's data science. You can figure out what you want to do in your career. There's a career dreamer AI. You can create text to image. You can create text to video. You can create music. Notebook LM, we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, just a lot of really interesting tools. And so if you start to spend time, instead of going through, I hope you're not on Twitter, but if you go through TikTok, and I hope you're not on that either, but Instagram or Facebook or whatever, spend some time on here instead. This is really interesting, and it's good. Like, this is good for you to learn. So labs.google, go spend some time there for sure. Two scientists left OpenAI. They created Anthropic, and Anthropic created Claude, which is a ChatGPT competitor. I do have one of the paid versions, and just so I could test out apples to apples. But I did like Claude better for writing. ChatGPT has upped its game in the past couple of weeks, but I really just was more intuitively interested in what Claude could do for writing. And a lot of my friends that do computer programming and coding say Claude is excellent at it. So if you don't like ChatGPT, you can go try to find Claude. And it has a lot of the same kind of features. You can create AI assistants. It has a place to organize, things like that. So try Claude. And then Perplexity came out a couple of years ago. I have not Googled anything probably in over a year and a half. I have always used Perplexity, and I don't have a paid version. I just have the free version. But it has been known for being more safe and more secure. And it also gives you the sources of what you are asking for. So again, I have not Googled in years. I use Perplexity as my default search engine. And you can see also on here, it has a deep research function, which I use all the time. So Perplexity, if you want to play around with it, again, free, and go see what it does. So the whole point of this is that AI, this is my mantra, AI is not a single piece of software. It's not a piece of technology like we have never seen before. All the big marketing words: systemic, seismic, pervasive shift in how I'm going to say live, which means personally and professionally. It's going to affect every role in your firm, top to bottom, side to side. Everyone is going to be using AI. It's evolving every single second at the moment. It's very difficult to keep up with. I am begging you, it's probably why you're here, to get familiar with AI in your daily routine. I promise we can do this. And if you can imagine it, you're like, hey, Kristen, is there an AI out there that can? I promise you it's being built in a basement somewhere or it's already out there. So I show this because this came out in early of 2023. It was a Belgian advertising company that threw a billboard up on an unfinished construction site that basically, told, hey, ChatGPT, come finish this building. And then like snubbing its nose at it saying, oh, well, ChatGPT can't finish our buildings. But guess what? This isn't really funny anymore. ChatGPT alone, and again, that's not just what AI is. There's thousands, millions, gajillions of tools. But if you hooked up ChatGPT to a 3D printer, cement printer, you could probably get pretty far. This is a company called Icon 3D Tech. It's actually here in Texas. They're based in Austin, and they are a 3D construction printing construction company. This particular build, I think, is a design that was created by Lake Plato Architects, also in San Antonio. But you can see it's building. Icon 3D Tech also is starting to design architecture tools, AI-powered tools for architecture. So again, this stuff is happening now. All right, I'd be remiss also if I didn't talk about inherent problems. I don't want to scare anybody because we want to just be smarter than the stuff that we're hearing about that could be a problem with AI. The stuff on the left could be considered AI problems, and then the stuff on the right are definitely human problems. So lots of things can go wrong. So when I showed you that process, my question would be, where could it go wrong? And the answer is it can go wrong everywhere. You could give it an inaccurate or a bad prompt. You couldn't give it enough information or context. Its knowledge base could be inaccurate. So when ChatGPT was released on the world, its knowledge base was the internet pre-2021. We know the internet is not entirely accurate. So of course it's going to give back inaccurate or misinformation. The computer programmer has bias, and the output, what you're asking for, could also go wrong. So when I look at an AI process, I really think the process is sound and secure and foundational. I think it's actual human intervention, and where humans play around with it, that's why it goes wrong. So I always think about if I'm not getting what I want from AI, then one of those 4 steps has something going on with it. And we're just going to talk about a few of these things.
Anything I want into a context window, and boom, I get a video of my AI avatar saying it. I can also speak in different languages, so I could say, 所有的松饼都在哪里? Or, lemmikkillohikärmeeni pitää parempana spagettia. But you don't get all my wonderful facial expressions, and it falls a little flat, so I will probably wait till the next iteration of this. Still, it's pretty freaking wild.
So this is about deep fakes, right? People can clone faces, people can clone voices. That is a company called HeyGen. You can clone your voice and you can clone your face using probably about a minute of video interaction. And there's an app on my phone called Captions, and you can also just videotape and you can clone yourself. So lots of cloning things out there. So deep fakes in voice cloning and facial cloning, that's a real thing. It's happening. It's for $11 a month. You can do it. So this article came out early of last year. You probably heard about it. This is an AEC company. I can't remember which one, but a person who was able to transfer money within the firm was on an online call, Zoom or Teams, with his CFO, with other people in his leadership. And again, he could transfer money, but he was not allowed to without, authorization. And all the people on the call gave him authorization to transfer $25 million into this bank account. And it turns out that none of the people on the screen were real. And so when I saw this, remember, everything we hear, we've got to extrapolate it out and think about it and how does that affect us? And I thought, oh, okay. People using these tools are going after really big firms and really big money, right? It takes some time to do this stuff and going after some serious cash. And then This article came out later last year about a PE coach, and he and his friend had stolen like $2,000 from an athletic fund, and the principal found out and was going to fire him. And so he used HeyGen or 11 Labs to clone the principal's voice off of a voicemail, his outgoing message on his phone, and made it say really awful stuff. And then he uploaded that really awful stuff to social media and said, "Oh my God, can you believe that our principal said this?" And the principal was fired the next day. And it took about 3 months for this all to shake out, that this athletic director had used AI and it was not true. And, you know, the principal got his job back. But then I thought, oh my God, it's not just big money and big scammers. Everybody has access to these tools and they can do it just because they want some revenge. So here's the downer of this presentation. I'm looking at all of you, proverbially speaking, and I'm asking you to please, make sure that you have protocols in place for your firm and your family. That might be as something as, small as a safe word or a safe emoji. So if you're talking to somebody and somebody's like, "Give me all your money or I'm going to, kill your wife." It's like, what's our safe word? And that's where we are right now. Also, people have asked me what they can believe on the news or in the media. And the truth is, we can't really believe anything. It can be altered. And so just if something is so awful or so wrong, just take a deep breath and be like, that may not be true. So find a couple of sources that you feel good about, and let's go with that. But just know that this is out there and this is a real thing. So copyright infringement. This was one of the very first cases brought. Getty Images owns hundreds of millions of images copyrighted. And then Stability AI, which is a text to image generating company, they use those images without Getty's permission to create the knowledge base of their AI tool. And you can see the image on the left is the real image and the image on the right is the fake image. And this was a long time ago, and AI tools are better at creating people now. But you can see that given the fact that this is grotesque and his ankle looks broken and stuff like that, but it tried to recreate the watermark. So you would think that Getty would win this lawsuit, but they did not. They actually lost because the image on the right is not nearly exact enough to the image on the left. So know that. Know that if y'all are worried about security and privacy, content creators that are suing AI companies because the AI companies use their content without their permission to train their models, the content creators and people who own the copyrights are actually losing, okay? So one, what does this tell me for our industry? First of all, if your content is anywhere out in the world, it has already been used to train a model. That is a given. It has been consumed and put in the black hole of a knowledge base somewhere. And then two, using AI, you probably wouldn't get sued for what comes out of it because again, content creators are losing. So we probably won't get sued. So that's what I know about that. But this is a murky legal landscape and it's working its way through. So here's what I do know for certain. I have a friend who is an AI lawyer. I run things by him. Who owns the AI generated outputs? The answer is absolutely no one. There's nothing, this is not up for discussion. You don't own it. The AI company does not own it, and the AI does not own it. No one owns it. Even AI assistants that I have built for myself on my own information and knowledge base, if it is generated by AI, no one owns it. Now, I do not know where that particular percentage is, because that's going to be worked out in the courts about how much you have to change a document or change an image or change a video so that it is owned and copyrighted by a person. But right now, no one owns anything generated by AI. Who owns the knowledge base? That's the good question. And remember those two pictures, it depends on how exact or similar those outputs are. That is working its way through the courts. Will my inputs and outputs be fed back to train the AI model? I need you to look at the terms and conditions. For example, in ChatGPT, you can toggle, it is SOC 2 compliant, you can toggle off training the model. You cannot do that in the free version, by the way. And other AI platforms, you have to look at their terms and conditions and look for their security settings. And then just by using any AI tool, you are already agreeing and acquiescing to their terms and conditions. And all of their terms and conditions say you will not you will hold them harmless. You will not sue them for anything that comes out of an AI model. So now we're in the present, okay? How do we filter the noise? I'm going too slow. How do we filter the noise? How do we look at this stuff and how do you know which tool is most useful and what do you need? I have people ask me all the time, what's your favorite tool? And I'm like, we don't start with that. We start with the why. We all know we need AI for some reason, but what are we trying to solve? What's the why? So for employees and individuals at firms, I say, what do you like to do? Oh, what do you do every day? What do you hate to do every day? What do you like to do every day? For the things you hate, there are AI tools out there right now that can get that stuff off your plate. I guarantee it. For the stuff you like to do, there's AI tools out there that can make you better, faster, higher quality, more creative. Definitely out there. We start with the why. So just look at your day. Right, start to write down the things that you do during your day. How much time do you spend on that? So if we actually found an AI tool and how much that would cost in order to do those things that are already on your plate, we have a real equation about return on investment. We're going to spend this much money to get this much back. I'm going to skip that. Teams. So when you're looking at teams, and I'm talking to any kind of team, whether it's marketing, accounting, design teams, what are the pain points? Usually their pain points are they need to save time, they need to do things faster, but they also don't want to do things faster at the expense of quality. So we want to increase quality. Like we start with those whys. And what kind of tech stacks are you using? So we're looking at your existing tools and we're going to see which ones have AI and where we can put AI into that process. This is a friend of mine that I follow. He is an AI BIM expert. And so for y'all out there who use these tools, again, these might not be the ones you use, but you start with this tech stack and you look at the stuff that you're already using. And then you start to kind of put it in place about how these things how they are talking to each other, how they're not talking to each other, which ones have AI. So you can see Excel, because that's Microsoft, that has some AI, and then where you can start to put in AI to fill the gaps in the entire process. And for firms, when you think about strategically bigger, I want to know what your strategic goals are. AI in and of itself is not a strategy. It's going to help you achieve your strategic goals. But what problems do you need solving? I was at ACEC Forums last year and I sat in the mid-sized firm roundtable, and y'all are talking about problems that you've had for 5-10 years. Let's start with those. Let's really solve some of those problems. And you create use cases around that. You start with that. Then you look for the tools that can give you a return on investment. And what that looks like is when you think about what success and what your company looks like in 6 months or a year after having started to use AI throughout your organization, 100% definitely time saved. But it could also be higher utilization. It could be better creativity. You could increase output or documents or proposals or designs. You could also increase the quality of those things. So more and better. Happiness and morale is a real thing. Employees who use AI, it's been shown they are more content in their jobs. And y'all spend a lot of money on best places to work surveys. So AI can help with that too. And obviously, we have a transfer of knowledge problem in our industry. So getting the younger generation ramped up faster, AI can help with faster education and better information absorption. So you look like, what does that success look like? Those are also your whys. You're like, what are you trying to do? And then when you implement AI, you can actually evaluate your AI against your whys. So it's your beginning and your end. So what AI should you use, right? Every firm out there right now has 3 choices, the same 3 choices. One, you've already decided your why, you've got a use case. You can find the solution in an enterprise software platform that you already have. So the big vendors, Autodesk, Bentley, Adobe, Uninet, BST, Deltek, do any of those platforms have AI features or solutions that that can go with that use case? 2, you can buy it off the shelf. You can test them out for free. Somebody's already built it for you that's going to solve that particular problem, membership subscription, or you can build it yourself, right? And yes, you can build it yourself. So again, when you have your enterprise solutions, the things that you are already using, you check those tools, You call your vendors and you ask them what they are doing to incorporate AI into those platforms and systems, and then demand to be trained on those features. It's on us, but we have to do that. I'm going to skip that. This is Microsoft Copilot. So again, an enterprise solution. So its official name is Copilot at Microsoft 365, and your IT people can absolutely turn this on for individual users. It is an upcharge of $30 per month per user for Copilot in Microsoft 365. What it does is it's going to live in the program that you are opening. So you can see I have an Excel spreadsheet open here. You can see Copilot is up in the navigation. It's that little green Mobius strip. And if there were data in this Excel spreadsheet, I could click on that and I could start talking to the data in the program. So Copilot in Microsoft 365 is going to help you use the programs better, and it's going to use the information in the document that you open as its knowledge base. So that's one. It's also in Teams. People who have done test pilot projects in Copilot and Microsoft 365. It's not an end all be all. Some people love it. Some people are like, it's just not there yet. And it is not the same as ChatGPT. So if you're like, should we do ChatGPT or should we do Copilot or another tool in Copilot? Copilot is not the panacea. So it's not the overall, but it's in a enterprise solution and you can turn it on to those programs. But if you turn it on and you get it in Teams, it does meeting notes for you. So people love that. Meeting notes is the lowest possible hanging fruit, and you can turn it on right now, and it's a game changer. So what if you controlled the knowledge base, right? This is what it looks like in Copilot. Sorry, let me back up. Okay, Copilot and Teams. All right. So now I'm asking on that process, what if you got to control the knowledge base? So within Copilot and Microsoft 365, you can actually do that as well. You can turn on Copilot on top of your own assets in your company, on your folders and your files, and hopefully you're in the cloud by now, so you can look through your own assets. You need a third-party vendor to help you do this. IT departments are really smart. They're also overloaded at this point, and I think I always recommend a third-party vendor to help you get your data organized. And you also want to turn on those security protocols that you already have in place within Microsoft to make sure that people can only see certain folders, even if they are using AI. So this is what it looks like when you turn it on. My company is very small. We don't have any secrets from each other. There's no HR violations or anything like that, but you can see the navigation bubble at the top. If I turn that toggle on to the web, Copilot in Microsoft 365 is going to use the internet as its knowledge base. And when I turn on the work toggle, it's going to use my Outlook, my calendar, and our OneDrive and our share drive as its knowledge base. So just know that you can do that. You can call me and ask me all about it, and I can help you with that. But just wanted to put that out there. I'm going to skip that part. This is if you still want to control the knowledge base, but you don't really know what I'm talking about, here are a lot of platforms that you can play around with so that you can upload your own PDFs or text or URL and have AI talk to that as its knowledge base. So this is Dropbox. They came out with theirs last year. I think it is an additional charge, but you can see that I opened up an interview. So I opened up a PDF. Dropbox right there is in the navigation bar with the little crystals. I click on that, this box opens on the right-hand side, and there's the prompt. It says, ask me something about this file. And so I can start to ask questions about this information. It has gone through it, it's, churned through it and learned from it, and it's just mine. Just it's in my little subscription. It's not taking back to train the model, and I'm going to ask it questions about this information. Adobe finally came out with theirs. They were late to the game. Their AI assistant may be out of beta by now, but again, I think it's a little baby upcharge. But you can see here that I uploaded some operational benchmarking, redacted client name, of course. And then on the right-hand side, when I click on the AI assistant, it's already giving me a summarization of the overview of what this document is. And then there's the box where I can start to ask it questions. So when we think about, we have all this information and we need something else that can scour through that information and give us new insights and ideas about the information we already have about our firm. This is Notebook LM. Again, you can find it on Google Labs. It's the most underrated tool out there right now. And you can see that I can upload the knowledge base from my drive, a PDF, a text file. I don't recommend you put your drive in, text, or you can upload a URL, a website. It will use the website as its knowledge base. This is what it looks like. I also train on BD. I have a little course. I have some workbooks. I've uploaded all of those PDFs on the left-hand side. So that's its knowledge base. It's starting to give me a summary overview. And then what's really cool about Notebook LM, and again, completely free, has two new features. One is this audio overview feature. If you click on it, it will start to create a podcast with two AI chatbots talking to each other about your information. As a marketer, I find this to be really fun and interesting because you can create podcasts, in a minute. When I gave this presentation before, I had someone in the audience say, yeah, we're using that to upload all of the training information for our EITs. And I'm just like, wow, because everybody learns differently. You can learn by listening, you can learn by seeing, you can learn by doing. So if you have a lot of people who can learn by listening, absolutely. This is a training tool that is free out there. And then the mind map part, so cool. If you don't know what a mind map is, it takes information and it kind of breaks it down into a flow of information. And so this is what the mind map looks like for my BD course. It's amazing. So play around. Again, Notebook LM in Google Labs, completely free, totally underrated. I throw Quire out there too, because for any of y'all out there doing reports, remember we're in the kind of like off the shelf solution. If y'all do a lot of reports, this is an AI powered report generating platform. And when I asked what everybody hates to do during their day, if any of y'all out there said proposals, Joist AI is an AI powered proposal platform. There are many of them out there. I recommend them because I've met the founder. He is a construction science graduate and worked for Hensel Phelps for many, many years. And he is designing AI not just for, fun. He is designing AI to fix a broken process in our industry, and proposals are broken. So if you are thinking about you need some help in proposals, for sure, give Joist AI a call. This is already did this one, so that's Notebook LM. All right, then the last part is you have your use case, you have your why, you're going to build your own AI solution. So first you can hire someone to do that, a developer, or you can actually do it yourself. If you hire someone, your use case better be completely unique and really, really, you can't find it off the shelf or you can't find it in enterprise. You have to be really unique because it's going to cost you a lot of money, but you're going to get speed to market because you're going to answer to your solution, to your question right away. But the opposite side of that equation is the AI could be produced off the shelf in 3 to 6 months. That's how fast it's moving. Or you can build it yourself. So when you build it yourself, you're going to own the entire process. You're going to give it the data for its knowledge base. You're going to give it the instructions. You can create these little baby AI assistants yourself. And this is what it looks like. So this is, you can build them in ChatGPT, the plus version. They're called GPTs. I know that's very confusing, but just consider them little AI assistants. Here's one that I built. It's called a firm analyst. On the left-hand side, you can see where we can write the description. That's where you put in the instructions. I wrote that this GPT specializes in analyzing data from a large professional services firm. I wanted to emphasize technical and professional detail, provides in-depth analysis and breakdowns on key business metrics like revenue, headcount, financials, et cetera, et cetera. So you give it all the instructions. And then I could upload files. You can see on the left-hand side, I could upload files if I wanted to, or the user side, you can upload files for this thing to look at. And if you, again, have no idea, I know I'm going way too fast. This is a little bit longer discussion. Just call me. I'll walk you through the process. I already have a little seminar on it too, but I will show you how to do this. This is for repeatable processes. So if you always want to analyze your firm information for better insights, we can create this thing that will look for specific information, and you can build this and just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. It will also learn from itself, and you can iterate it to always make it better. So this is I'm going to upload some financials, and it's going to give me insights, and I'm going to be able to ask questions about those financials, probably getting answers that I've never seen before. So just new ideas and new insights. When you are in ChatGPT Plus, if you want to see some other GPTs or AI assistants that people have built, there are, again, I'm just going to use the word gajillion. This came out about a year ago, and within 3 days, there were 3 million GPTs on the GPT store. They're all free to look at right now. So if you just need ideas, if you want to try somebody else's AI assistant, you can do that. Or if you want to get an idea about what you want to build, you can do that too. So here are some GPTs that I have built. The first two are actually on the store, and there'll be live links, so you can click on those and go see them. But just to get your mind going, let me look at the Write Like Kristen. I love to write. I think I'm a good writer. I can't tell you how I write or what my style is, but I created an AI assistant, a GPT, and I uploaded 20 of my writing samples. I said, please analyze my tone, the words that I use, the structure that I use. And then when I give that GPT new ideas, it helps me flesh out those ideas and gets me to about 80% that already sounds like me. And then, of course, we don't use what comes out of it because somebody doesn't own that. I start to rewrite that text myself, but it already gets me there. So you can do something like that. You could build an RFQ analyzer. You could upload your proposals. I built this for a client. She was in wastewater treatment, so we upload her most recent proposals, and AI can sift through all that information to help her write new project descriptions and new approaches and new bios and do fees. So we could build something like that. I showed you the revenue analysis one. Team personality. If you have a hard time managing a team, you can upload all of their personality tests like Berkman or whatever's out there, and start to ask it about your team and how do you have conversations with your team? Who on your team is best at details? Who on your team, detail oriented, who on your team is best for strategy or creativity? Or if somebody on your team is stressed out, what does AI help you have conversations with that person? So hoping your mind is thinking that when you have a process, you can build these things very easily. So what would you build? I'm running out of time. That's what we're doing. All right, so what would you build? And then thinking about your entire firm as well. What can your firm build? So again, remember I said AI touches everybody, top to bottom, side to side. So there are going to be tools that go across your entire firm. And then there are going to be tools that are specific only for teams, like accounting or like your design, or surveying or whatever that is. There can be specific tools for those teams or groups. And then your people are going to have their own tools as well. I was talking to a client yesterday. He needed help with his calendar. I was like, I've got the tool for you. And then the guy across from me was like, well, I don't need that tool. And I'm like, then you don't need to use that tool. So again, think about all the areas of your firm. Think about yourself for sure. Start with yourself. We want to get you moving forward, but your entire firm is going to be affected and in a good way. So if you don't like OpenAI or ChatGPT, you can also build your own AI assistants within these other platforms. U.com, they're called agents. Anthropic Claude that I mentioned earlier, they're called projects. In Google Gemini, they're called gems. In Cassidy, they're called assistants. In Perplexity, they're called spaces. And in Mistral, they're called agents. And of course, you can build them in enterprise solutions, like OpenAI has an enterprise solutions. You can build them within there. And in Microsoft, you can build your own AI assistants or GPTs in their Copilot Studio. So this is just an example of an automation. So when you start to put a process together, but these companies are putting tasks in order. So you're looking at the whole process and not just a task. This is Cassidy. I played around with it for free. So I went in and on the left-hand side, I clicked on workflows, which are just kind of some pre-made workflows. And I clicked on competitor analysis. I was like, let's see what it does. So I put in my own website as the competitor's URL. I clicked run workflow, and it's going to start to tell me what it's doing. So it's looking for any online reviews of this URL. It's going to scrape that website. It's going to look for descriptions. It's going to look for product and service offerings. It's going to look for strengths and weaknesses across the internet, and it's going to provide me a report. So I clicked run workflow. In a couple of minutes, it gave me back a report because I know my company, so I could see if it was accurate, and it was. So when you start to think about all the things you do during your day, I promise you, it took me a while to get here, and I'm in this full time. But when you start a task or a process, I want you to think, is there an AI out there that can help me do this? Help me do it faster? Help me do it better? The answer is probably yes. And we're going to shift that mindset as well. So the future is now. This is the least advanced AI is ever going to be. And it just keeps advancing every single second. I show this because I waited for Apple Intelligence to show up on my Apple phone last year. I thought I might have to get a Samsung or a Google phone, but it finally came out on Apple. I show this to everybody because what happens if your firm is so slow on AI advancement? I mean, and by slow, I mean like not doing it, or you're just like, we're going to really wait and see what happens. And then an employee walks in with this kind of AI power on their phone, and they can do it faster on their phone than they can on their work availability. We're going to have a real problem. And I show this too because all laptops and phones moving forward, every new iteration is going to be AI powered. This is Google DeepMind's Project Astra.
Okay, let's do some tests. Tell me when you see something that makes sound.
I see a speaker, which makes sound.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
What does that part of the code do?
This code defines encryption and decryption functions. It seems to use AES-CBC encryption to encode and decode data based on a key and an initialization vector, IV.
That's right. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
What can I add here to make this system faster?
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden Stripes.
Nice. Thanks, Gemini.
Now, while I had this in the future section of my presentation, you can do most of that already with ChatGPT advanced voice mode. Again, remember, it's multimodal. It can see and hear. And if I did a demonstration right now, you can see that I could do that. So remember, we're in the future section. So this is just a prediction, right? So this group predicts that we're going to have still advancements of our large language models, 2 thumbs up, multimodal, the seeing, the hearing, that interaction, explosion, of course, AI agents, the assistants I talked about, definitely robotics. I didn't really touch on that, but if you go Google some AI robotics stuff that's being happening right now is kind of amazing. And then there's the AGI emergence that this person actually thinks is going to happen in a couple years. And then I put wearable tech because I've got an Aura ring, I have a Plod Note Pen. I just ordered a B Race wristlet. What else do I have? Oh, I do have the Meta glasses. I don't recommend them at the moment. They're just fun. They're not really useful. But what I want y'all to look at in this chart is that usually when we talk about the future and we do strategic planning, we're thinking 10 years out. This chart is in the next, 5 years. 5 years. So advancing very, very quickly. AI requires that mind shift. I want y'all, so we're trying to put AI right now into our current workload. We're thinking about a task and we're thinking about the AI that can help with that task or solve that task or fix that why. I also want you to be able to think about when you start something, could you do that thing in a completely new way? AI is going to let you do that. Instead of trying to put technology in these little boxes because AI doesn't want to be put in a box, you could actually have brand new workflows, a brand new process for doing something. I want you to really think about that. So again, thinking about how do you use AI first on all of the tasks? These are givens. Easily givens right now. Survey, legal discussions, onboarding, recruiting outreach, email drafting, coding, contract review. This is happening. It's a given right now, a given. So think about how AI can help you with tasks, and then think about how you can crumple up that process and start over from scratch. Again, it impacts more than just roles and tasks and people. Your firm needs to think about really big operational questions. When I start to talk about AI, again, it's not just about a tool. AI is going to change how it's going to be part of your strategic plan. It's going to be part of your training. It's going to change how we ask for fees. It's going to change how we scope our work. It's going to change our contracts. It's going to change our competitive advantage. It's going to change how we talk about ourselves and our differentiators. So that's marketing and messaging. It's going to change your contracts and your insurance. You may have to think about restructuring your org chart, upskilling and reskilling people that you already have to do different things. How are you going to manage AI in your company? So those are all these questions, and of course, clean data. So if I asked you right now, if I could build an AI tool on your own assets right now, would you have those assets to give me? And I don't want you to say, yeah, we've got 30 years of assets. We have to think about what kind of things we're going to use to put into a knowledge base so that AI stays relevant and accurate for us. I'm almost finished, Andrew. So when I ask people again what their success looks like, 6 months or a year from now, a lot of y'all out there are like, ooh, 30% more utilization. And I'm like, that's awesome. That is a really aggressive, big picture goal. But I'm going to ask you, if you just dialed that back a little bit, what if you just wanted to increase your billable time by 5%? I had a client yesterday who said to me, if I could just get 2 hours a week back, and I'm like, oh my God, we can totally do that. That's doable. 2 hours a week is 5%. If your entire organization got 2 hours a week back to be billable, to go be in front of clients, current or potential, to go generate work, to do better work, that is going to monumentally shift your company, including revenue and profit. So there is, again, I want to really emphasize that AI is fun and it's cool and it makes you feel better. And you're like, yeah, I think it's helping. I am in it for a metric. There are real metrics that you can get from AI. And I use my hands. I really hope y'all can see me. Old technology, every technology we've ever had before, you have to expend a huge amount of time for learning it and actually not learning it very well and getting a really small return from it. AI is the exact opposite. If you learn the conversation or language of AI, it's going to take you this much time, which is a little bit of time, but the return is going to be exponential. So think about that. This is how much I spend. People ask me all the time. I probably spend about $3,500 on AI right now. And the amount of time that I save and what I get back from it equates to I spend $2.70 per hour that I actually save on AI. That is a really good deal. So when I tell people, what happens if your firm was to spend, and I'm just throwing out a number, $200,000 on AI, everyone's like, oh my gosh, $200,000, that's so much. What if that $200,000 equated to a profit of 3.7 million? Then does it seem like a bad spend? So there is an equation for this, I promise you. So again, this is not just frou-frou stuff out there. We are going to tie it to your goals, your strategic plan, and your bottom line. All right, I'm at the end. So everybody take a deep breath. I know I went through this really fast, but remember, here are the key points. You don't start with I need AI, you start with why do I need AI? Develop a use case or multiple use cases. Map it out. Think it through. Is this a task? Is it a process? And then determine what AI you can use to help solve those problems. Find it in an enterprise solution. You can buy it off the shelf or you can build it yourself. And the money, I want you to invest in yourself. Like I said, and I know I do this for a living and I get it. I'm spending this money, my company spends part of it, but I'm spending this money on myself. It makes a real difference in my life. So what would you be willing to spend on yourself? And if you are waiting for your companies to get there, don't do that. $20 a month is going to change your life on ChatGPT Plus. So I do have an AI IQ community. It is just there's so much noise, and it's where I like to put all of my trainings and my advice and my posts and the tools that I use and the tools that I find. And so this is where you can find it if you would like to join. And I am here to help. So you can click and take a picture of the QR code and then you put save contact and it will put me right into your phone with all my information. And I am brave enough to put my phone number out there as well. Just please, if you're going to text me, tell me who you are. But you may text me, you can call me, you can email me. I am here to help you in any way. No question is too small. I do training, I do consulting, I help firms move forward, but I am here to help in any way that I can. And I believe that that's it. And this is all the stuff I do. And Andrew, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Kristen, great job. If you have a question for Kristen, please submit it now. And while I've got this chance, I want to say thanks to our speaker and thanks to today's participants for joining us. ACEC has emailed each registrant instructions on how to complete the quiz and earn PH credits for today's class as well. And I'm not seeing any questions, Kristen, which
Yeah, I've
truly
either
surprises me.
I've scared them or they're waiting to just, text me. So yeah, this is a lot of information to take in. I want you to have all the information, but remember your why, find the AI and invest in yourself and your firm and call me.
Thank you again. Thanks to everyone who participated today. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.